What's up, you guys? Godzilla fan freaks coming at you today with another figure review. And today's figure review is going to be on the Bandai Hedorah, the vintage old Bandai Hedorah, not the kind of newer one, I want to say, but the first release, I guess you want to call it. I'm just going to call it the vintage Bandai Hedorah. Makes it sound a little cooler because it kind of is, older, and it is the first Bandai Hedorah that there was. So, I got this at G-Fest this past year from Greg at Eggsy and Japanese Imported Toys. And this was a purchase I made after I made the X Plus Rick Boy King Ghidorah purchase from him. And I asked him if he had any Bandai Hedorahs. He did, and he was nice enough to give me a deal on one with a tag. Yeah, I removed the tag. I know. Sin. Shame. Shame on me, right? No, I'm just kidding. I keep the tags, but I just remove them from the figures. That's just how I roll. Some people keep the tags on. I keep them off, but I keep the tags and I drop them. So, take a quick look at the tag there. Hopefully the plastic on the outside isn't giving too much of a glare from the light. A nice picture of Godzilla kind of jumping, I guess, with Hedorah near the bottom of him. I don't know what's going on in this picture necessarily. Doesn't really make much sense. Of course, all the backside, pretty much it's all written in Japanese, so you can't really understand it all. But very nice tag nonetheless. Not bad. Kind of very cool that he gave me a deal with on this guy with a tag. Thank you, Greg, for that. I really appreciate it, buddy. So let's get straight on into this figure review with paint apps. Paint job, more or less, pretty much, it's pretty basic for Hedorah. I mean, he's pretty much black kind of all the way around, and the black isn't, a flat black. As you can see, he's giving off that shine, and that's really cool, especially on the underarm stuff. Definitely gives him that slimy look and feel to the figure. He is made out of pollution. And so the black, finish on him, it's a very shiny black. And then you got some silvers and stuff. Now, all the other colors on him, the silvers, the greens, the reds, all that mixture, as you can see, those are just dull. They're not metallic. They're not shiny looking like the black is, which, in my opinion, that's fine. The black really gives Hedorah that good finish on him. And the rest of it being flat is just very nice additions, I want to say. But the black is what really makes this guy stand out, in my opinion. Just the shininess it gives off and whatnot. Just the disgustingness of Hedorah, I want to say. But, very nice, silvers, grays, blacks, reddish, greens, yellow, whatever you want to call it. Kind of like a yellow-green mixture, almost like a mustard, almost. Kind of like when, mustard's been left out and it has that time to dry out. It kind of changes that shade and color. That's kind of like what this yellowish green color looks like. And then you kind of got this orange red here on the top, and then kind of like a maroonish reddish coming down the back pretty much here and on the sides of his face right here. So a very nice mixture of colors all the way around. His eyes are pretty much just a clear, translucent, plastic. They're, no white whatsoever in them. They're just clear, translucent plastic. And then, of course, you have the, reddish oranges and yellows pretty much and blacks that Hedorah's eyes consisted of. I'll get him kind of close there. The way his eyes are with that translucent plastic, the light might be shining on it too much. So hopefully you guys can get a good look. But the eyes look cool. The eyes are another standout point on this figure. Just really cool the way they did them. But again, just that shiny black is just amazing in my opinion. I just think it makes this figure so cool. And then next on, we'll go on to detail. Detail, I mean, it's Hedorah. I mean, we've seen Hedorah, whether it's X Plus, Bandai, Marmot, whatever. Hedorah, detail is more or less the same. I mean, he kind of just has all that sludginess, dredginess, whatever you want to call. Just has all of this, all the lines, all the grooves are there. Arms are very nicely sculpted and whatnot. I mean, just overall, I mean, he has the tail here is in the sculpt, and as you can see, the tail kind of curves off to the side here. Very nicely done. You got all the nice cracks and crevices here on the top of his head, as well as all the, bubbly sacks of pollution that are on his back here. Very nicely detailed. And he kind of has like a nose here that's kind of, that sticks out from the sculpt. That's what it looks like. It looks like a nose. So he has a nose. The eyes, the detailing around the eyelids, and everything like that. Very, very nicely done. What else can I say? I mean, Hedora's detail, it's basic, but it's all there. Very, very nicely well done figure. As far as articulation goes, no waist, no nothing. The only parts of articulation are his arms. His arms can, rotate, not left and right, but you can turn them around, So not too much crazy articulation with this figure. You can kind of just get some basic arm poses out of him, depending on how you want his arms to sit. But, so on and so forth. That's it for articulation, just the arms. And then next up, we'll go up to scaling. I only brought out one figure to scale him with. Here is the 50th anniversary memorial box, Godzilla 1968. If you would best, look good with, since it, kind of resembles the 1972, since that was all the same suit. Scales in pretty well. Hedorah will scale in well anything within the 6-inch range. So Godzilla, Gigan, in whatever Bandais that you have that are in the 6-inch scale, he will look good with. Scales in well. He's a little taller than Godzilla right now, but that's okay. That's kind of the way it was in the movie. He was a little taller than Godzilla was in the movie, but this does it good just right, especially since, he's taller than Godzilla because his head kind of goes up at an angle right here. So that's really what makes up the height difference between these two. But if you were to really kind of like maybe flatten that out, or, just mold it to where it was kind of more sideways, out this way instead of just going up, if it was just more, flattened out and, that way, they'd pretty much more or less be the same height. But very good scaling, and with anything in the 6-inch scale Bandai line. So that's it for scaling. So paint apps, detail, articulation, and scaling. That about does it for this figure. And very short, quick review. You have Hedorah. He's a very basic Bandai figure. There's not too much you can go into on this guy. Hedorah. He's just one of those kaiju that whenever you do a figure review of him, whether it's X Plus or anything, it seems to go by kind of quick. Just because Hedorah, his design is simple, but he's a really cool monster. I like Hedorah. A lot of stuff in my collection. I mean, hell, all the different Hedorah things that I have in my room, especially all the posters and everything that I got this year at G-Fest, you would think that my favorite Godzilla movie of all time is Godzilla vs. Hedorah, but it's not. But Hedorah is a really cool monster. I dig him. So thank you again, Greg, for hooking me up with this Bandai Hedorah with his tag. That was very cool of you to do. You didn't have to, but I thank you very much. I bought a lot of cool things from you, including that X Plus Rick Boy King Ghidorah, and this guy, and a few others. But thank you again, Greg, for this guy. Very awesome. Glad to have this guy with the tag. Anyway, you guys, that is about all I got for this figure review. I'm blabbering on now, so it's time to end it. Like always, we are Godzilla Fan Freaks. Hope you enjoyed this review. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And we will see you guys in the next video review. Thank you for watching.